Hello, welcome, coming in. I'm adjusting things while I get to see people coming in. I might be checking also my channel on YouTube. So let me just set all messages and check that this is working. So there you are. Okay, I can see the comments here, and I have all my volume down so I can keep this one handy where I can see it. So if you're watching this on replay or later on today, in the evening, afternoon, be very, very welcome. So very early today in the morning. For me, it's barely 7 a.m. So just a recap. I finished these two coloring pages that I started during the streamathon on January the 1st. So you can go back to my live videos so you can get to see how we started this. And the idea today is to show you how you can use other supplies that you might have at home. And for that, I'm going to suggest, I don't have the boxes here, I only have one box. The pastel chalks. These are totally used and worn out, but it doesn't matter. It's Faber-Castell. This is the only one that is still complete, and this one, well, and the pink one, kind of. Okay, it's been worn from one side. But these are quite good for backgrounds and for other special effects. So if you have any of these, they are handy. If you have makeup, especially expired eyeshadows, that could also work. So just don't discard things that you have at home. It can be useful. Now, if you want to feel arty, you can also get these new versions on Amazon. The chalks are a little bit chunkier and smaller than this, so they kind of resist the breakage much better. And if you need an artist set of pastels and you want to go for something that you can control, let me put this away, I don't want to stain this. You can go for the pencils, the pastel pencils. So during the last month, during December, I was really checking a lot of YouTube channels with reviews because I was not sure if I wanted to get or Derwent or Faber-Castell or any other brand. And I saw that some of them kind of break that easily. And then I found an art channel. I cannot remember the name of the artist. And he reviewed 4 brands. And Carbothello, oh, this golden print is not going to allow you to see this. But Carbothello was something that I was looking for. It's thick enough, what can you say, maybe close to 3 millimeters. We cannot see this because of the cap. But they don't break easily. So they are really firm to use on paper, especially on coloring books. And they are not as hard as the Faber-Castell. I do have a Faber-Castell, but I don't have my pencil case here. And I was able to find one color sold individually. So I decided to test one color that I needed. It was a Payne's Gray. And it's chalky. It feels gritty on the surface, but it's too hard and it leaves some marks. So this could be a very good option if you're looking for a small set. I got the 24 set. For me, is more than enough. Why? Because I can combine it with this one, you can get to see that this set is probably, let me think, probably 40 years old, probably. It was a gift from my dad, so I use it, but I treasure it as well. And everything that I'm buying right now, I'm going to use it. It doesn't matter if it's finished or not anyway. So I'm going to show you first how you can play with the chalks and the pencil. And I'm going to be using this book that I got almost like 2 weeks ago. And I have 2 pages going on here. One is this portrait that I'm going to continue working with. And right now it is a mess. It's the ugly state of a coloring book. It has got everything here. Acrylic, craft acrylic, matte acrylic. Don't use the artistic shiny one because the idea is to outline all the dragon forms and to leave this texture. This is taken directly from the bottle. And I'm also working with only 4 colors for the skin. So this is kind of my swatching. I have green, red, kind of a sienna color, and a dark brown to work with. And that's what you can see on her skin. My studio light is very, very wide, so you won't be able to see all the different colors and the beautiful things that you can do. But if you follow me on Instagram, the photos that I publish on Instagram, and you can see it here, down here, my handle, the colors really, really pop up. And that's the best advice that I can give you. If you don't have enough budget for larger sets, you don't have to worry. Just get a 24 color, 36 color sets, and you're going to be fine. You'll be able to blend colors and work with this. And the other page that I'm working on is this one. I think, let me do this. Let me eliminate the cover because this is a beautiful cover, but in my space, a little bit of disadvantage right now. So we keep the book like it is. So I can open it much better. This little flower that you see here was started with pastel pencils and then refined with color pencils. So this is something that you can do. I started this one. It's very, very light on camera. You cannot really get to see the contrast, but hopefully we'll be able to do something with the chalk if this doesn't flip back and closes. And we will be showing you more or less how to use this technique. So let me just organize how I'm going to be doing this so you can see this properly. And if you're joining, welcome. This stream is not supposed to last for more than 45 minutes, so it's easy to watch later on. And of course, for you to enjoy these at a faster speed if you want to do it. Okay, so I think we are set and almost ready to go. Well, get a knife. It can be, my knife is too big, but it's one of my favorites, I know. But you can get an artistic knife. You can get something that is slimmer, no problem. And normally to work more easily with these chalks that are a little bit long, I broke them in pieces. But you don't have to do that. If you have the new ones or the bulky ones, that works. This color belongs here. So I'm going to be working with a couple of petals. I have to always remind myself that I have to keep everything on camera so you can see it. And very, very softly, very close to your area, you can drop just a little bit of dust. The advantage of dust on a paper like this that is very thick and easy to handle is that it will keep a very, very soft surface. A lot of people prefer or like to use their fingers to blend on paper. I totally do not recommend that. I rather use a Q-tip or small pieces of cotton to kind of blend or get this around my paper. And you can actually blend the different colors here. If you want, you can just have dust of 2 or 3 different colors and you can blend. If you're going to do that, make sure you rotate your Q-tip so you don't go with the clear areas or the light areas on top of the dark areas. You can use, you can blow this off if you need it, but I prefer to work with small quantities. Okay, so you're probably on the screen are able to see that there is a very, very light shade of yellow here. I think I'm going to use a little bit of this pink, just close to the base. And here you are. Just a little bit. Trying to control the area. You have to be careful and detailed. Better use the other side because it's a different color. Circle motion so you can keep it soft. This book has got a little bit of grayscale, so it's easy to figure out where you have to put the shadows. And I'm going to try and give you a close-up on how this works with the pencil and the chalk. So there are 2 different things. Okay, let me move this. This helps me keep the book open. And let me just move this and try to pull this up so I can also see what you can't see on the screen. Okay, so this is with pencils and this part is with chalk. Blowing this, and now I'm going to combine. Yesterday I just decided to go directly to use the chalks, and if you go through the paper just small, try getting feel of the texture is much softer when you use a chalk, and that's why I prefer sometimes to work with this. Now, in the case of, let me get my 2 colors. So I'm using the Carbothello kind of thing in these 2 colors. I don't have the names, but I have the numbers 335 and 215 from the set of 24. So now, put this back into view. Use this to hold my book open. The advantage of pastel pencils is that you can go through your coloring page and add texture. Just don't press too hard. Just do it softly and you're going to have texture. You can mark the texture of the petals and it will give you a different look, definitely. I tend to use a lot of Q-tips, but I try to keep more or less yellows, oranges, pinks. So I just laid down a little bit of orange. Be careful with your pencils. Try not to drop them. And this time we are not going to do circle motions. We're going to follow the tracing that you did with the pencil. So we can keep the texture. This is not going to appear so clearly on camera, but I'm going to show you an example of how you can do this. But let's pull this up. Let's see if you can see those lines. That's the pastel pencil working. I'm going to do the pink, and then I'm going to show you with another example that I have here close to my desk. Oops, this is like a balance game, you know. Now, let's work the pink area. The texture of your paper will feel a little bit different when you finish adding pastels. So let's find the pink side of the Q-tip. And I'm going to give you another practical tip. What if your Q-tip is already stained with a lot of things? What you can do is just take it out, take out all the cotton, grab small little cotton swab. Any size is good. And you can also like put it around. Now it's smaller, but it's better for details and it's going to have the same usage. That's what you can do it. And you can also pull this away. So this is more or less how it looks like. And I'm going to show you how chalk and the pencils work together. I'm kind of experimenting here with a new type of cardstock. This cardstock is Sandhill. It's available on Amazon and it's good for offset printing. It comes with an arrow that tells you which side is up, so you can print it. And depending on the quality of your laser printer, you can actually have small lines like this. So these are reference photos that I traced in order to experiment with this. So the cheeks of this dog are with the chalks, circular motions. And I'm starting to work the hair, the fur around the dog's face. The horse here, on the other hand, has got only 2 layers of chalk sticks. I have not used here the pencils, not yet, not the pastel pencils, not the color pencil, nothing yet. And this is trying to keep the fur of the horse kind of soft. And let's see how this cardstock works. So I'll probably be working this one in a longer period of time because right now I do want to finish the 2 images that I'm kind of having in mind for the next 2 weeks. And one is this. Okay, try to keep it soft. When I finish this page, even though I go over with color pencil, or if you're in Canada, pencil crayon, I will use some fixative to protect it. So that's more or less what I can tell you. Let me take my pencils back so I don't drop them. I kind of suffer when I drop my material. And I'm going to put these away as well. I'm going to be using, for this little flower that we have here, the Derwent Artist bundle that I have here. They are not coming from a set. I think I got the, also like 30 years ago, the 12 or the 24 set. And then I got rid of the box and I don't know what happened to the box. So the only thing that I have right now is this bundle. Some of the names have totally erased because of the year. Yeah, it's been a long time. So I'm going to be using some pinks and a very, very dark. Okay, I'm trying not to get on top of my laptop, but I'm also trying to get this visible for you. If you have any question or comment, you can leave a comment after the stream, or you can ask me. Normally when I color or something, I try to read the chat, but sometimes I'm not necessarily aware of everything. Hi, Belinda. Good morning. Welcome. Coming in. So, as this is pastel pencils on chalk, I strongly recommend having something to lay your hand on top. It can be a glove, it can be just a piece of paper, so you don't smear this around. And now that I have my basic layer with chalk, the only thing that I'm doing is just go using some lines on top just to define a little bit the texture of the petals. So there you go, ready with yellow. Now we're going to go with this pink. This one still has a name, so you can get to see that this is Rose Mather Lake or Mather Lake. I don't know. They're one artist if you have them. These are the old editions, very old editions. Same situation, go and lay your color, keeping the silky texture of a petal. We are not aiming to be realistic. The only thing that we want is just to enjoy the material that we have and do something that is semi-realistic. I admire a lot the people who do hyper-realism. I attempted that a long way back, but now I'm trying to be semi-realistic and not necessarily trying to copy a photo because it's not really needed. This is Crimson Lake, so it's a red. And with this one, I'm just going to go through the dark area of this petal so I can separate it from the one that is in front, well, the two that are in front. And then I'm also going to use this one, this same red, to outline just a little bit of the petal and eliminate the gray of the drawing, of course, right? Very softly, kind of suggesting that there's kind of a shadow here. This area is not that dark, so that's why I don't go full pressure, full force. And same situation here. It's like adding little hair. You just brush and lay this softly. I'm going to pull this up so you can get to see the effect that we are creating. I'm going to probably very, very soon get rid of my lamp here because I'm starting to have natural light. So that's good. And it's not sunny, so it's going to be looking good. So there you go. You can get to see how we can work with pastel chalks, pastel pencils, and color pencils on top and produce something that is really, really soft. Okay, so I hope you really like this and that you try this good effect that you have got. I don't have here my strange device that I normally use to eliminate the dust. Let me see if I have it somewhere near. I have to hide it from my cats because they love it. Oh, yeah. Sorry for the noise, but I have it. A collection of feathers. And you can just easily swipe this, and there you go. Okay. Belinda, now that you're here, let me do something. You can have, let me see. I'm going to give you a blue wrench, Belinda. So there you go. As I am both in StreamYard and my channel, this is something that we do. Okay, let me just move this away for a minute because I'm not going to use pastel chalk anymore. I'm going to be working with regular colors. I'm going to probably show you what we have next. Okay, the two images that we're going to be working in the next 2 weeks. Okay, this is about to close, but I hope it doesn't close. All right, so what are we going to be working on for the next weeks and the next streams? And you will be able to see shorts uploaded onto this channel if you want to see how this is built. We are going to continue working with this lady here. It's cute little Christine Karen's book. I removed the cover, but a lot of you have this book. Have the images. Oh, that's not the cover. This is a cover. A lot of you have this book, right? I have seen even people coloring this one. So we might do that in the future. I want to experiment with different skin colors, not realistic skin colors. And this is the first non-realistic skin color. You're welcome, Belinda. Nice to have you as moderator. Then that's why this one is the greatest example of how to play with small sets. So this is what I'm using for the skin. And I'm also going to pull this up. So now that I have a little bit more natural light, let me see if I can turn off my lamp and just get for some minutes the light that I get from my window. I'm going to pull this up and you can get to see, now it looks much better than when I started, how it looks very, very interesting, right? It's the special effect that we have with skin. So I'll use a little bit of artificial light, but not so direct. So you can get to see how we color this. And this is the image that we're going to finish during next week. And if you followed my streams, especially my first 3 live streams of this year, you have got access to a collection of images. And one of the images that one of my viewers, April, has asked me to do is this. I know it's a Halloween cat, but it's a very interesting image because we have got just the outline of the trees and a castle there. And thank you for the comment. We have this semi circle here that is supposed to be the moon. But the interesting thing is the hair, because this is a black cat. And I'm going to try and color this one so it's still looking like a black cat, but not necessarily with everything black. So we're going to be using a lot of colors. If you have sets with purples, blues, and grays, find them, because we're going to start working on this one, and we're going to try and replicate a cat, not only having light from the moon, that's the kind of the main source, but as the cat is facing us, we also have to take into consideration that there's a frontal light. If this was not the case, we wouldn't be able to see the nose or the eyes, not even the small little bits of hair. This is a cat with long hair. We wouldn't be able to see not even the claws on the paws here. So this is going to be a challenge to do. And one of the recommendations that I give is that don't go directly into dark shadows until you have kind of mastered where the lights are. This is available in the description of my previous videos, especially January the 1st. Yeah, January the 1st and then January the 3rd. In these two live streams, I have the link to the Google Drive where you can get not only this image, but also, let me see where I have them. You can print the puppy and you can also print the girl. So those images are available there. And as I continue working with more separate pages, I'll upload them there. So let's see. Now let's show you the magic of working with these 4 colors. And I'm not using this one right now. I'm not using this dark brown. I'm going to use it at the very end as soon as I have established everything. So we'll try to go and do this small area of the neck so I can show you how these 3 colors totally produce magic. Okay. Yeah, now the puppy's finished, right, Belinda? So it's like, it took me a long time, but well, remember that I also have to prepare the classes for the new term. So we started this week. This was the first week of our first part of the term. So that was a lot of work, to be honest. And now I have to prepare my second week also during these days, between today and tomorrow. So what are you going to do with your green color? First of all, don't exaggerate in laying down a lot of pigment. What you have to do is do something really light with circles. I'm actually holding my pencil not so close because here you normally have more pressure and more pigment, but probably in the middle. If your hand is kind of hard on paper, then do it further back. But for me, it's good to be doing this right in the middle and just very, very small circles. It's much better to have little pigment than a lot of pigment. Because anyway, this is soy ink. So you can probably, if you erase too much or too hard on paper, you can remove part of the drawing. So I'm just giving some touches of green. And this works not only for dark skin colors, for white colors for brunettes, for it doesn't matter. If you observe your hand, you're going to get to see that in different light conditions, you will be able to see different colors, blues, greens, reds, and that's what we're trying to replicate here. Now you're going to go and use your red. Also, very, very soft pressure in circles. If you make a mistake, make sure you have a kneaded eraser or a white eraser, something that is very soft with the paper. And just go and drop some little bits. If you are looking at your paper and you think that you need a little bit more green in darker areas, you can go a little bit, not harder, same pressure, light, add your shadow. The green represents the shadow, and the red as a complementary color is going to create the dark, the brown that you need. So that's what you normally do. Use your complementary colors to create different effects. So let me pull this up. On the screen, it's probably not going to be very clear, but the other side of the neck has got more or less the idea. And now you can go and use kind of an sienna and I don't know, kind of a warm color, brown color, and you go over what you just did and you expand it a little bit. Somebody asked me why I'm not coloring the really clear highlights of the screen, or well, of the skin, sorry. I'm waiting to see how all this effect goes and then keep the same effect. I'm thinking that maybe in the future I will take one of these images, because anyway, all of them are imaginary characters. They are not realistic. So here we can color skin in different colors, and we can go literally mad with adding different combinations, or using all your color pencils from pinks to lilacs, violets, and blues to create color, or just using complementary colors. So a good experiment would be to take, for example, a purple or a violet, and then go to the other side of the color wheel, and that's a yellow, and see, you will see how that produces a different kind of effect on the skin. Then we can also go to having blue colors, and then go the other way of the color wheel and create another spectrum of different things. So very subtle. You can get to see that now I have there a dark brown, my shadow. When you have areas like this on the neck that are very, very light, you have to be even more careful with the green that you're going to add. Start in the dark section and just move very, very softly to the sides. We don't want to exaggerate here with the green. And if you feel that this is too much, grab an eraser. I have here a white eraser, and just barely touch to remove the pigment. Don't erase just too hard. And then you can go on top of this with your red. Before you tackle any coloring page with this technique, my recommendation is grab a piece of paper, grab the colors that you want to experiment with, do your different combinations, and see if you like it. And if you don't like it, You are not forced to use this. These are just recommendations, because my red was too intense. So that's why I erased this. And then go back to this one. Okay. As I said, later on I'm going to continue building with this color, and if I feel that I need another color lighter than this, or a little bit of a pink kind of family, then I'll probably add the color. I'll keep the forehead kind of dark, because this kind of, I suppose she is having some type of dreadlocks or something like that. By the way, they are a little bit in blue, and this is a marker, a normal marker, a water-based marker. So there you go. I'm using colors from Starjoy because I think they have the right pigment for color pages, and they are not too waxy as the Prismacolor. I'm not going to use here the Prismacolor Junior, but I do have the Prismacolor Premier, and maybe as soon as I have everything there, that would be my final layer. So I can really go get the color and not having to fight a waxy surface. The more layers you have, the more wax you drop. So that's why the combination of different colors is a good idea. The Crayola colors and the Callure colors, they have harder leads and pigments, and they're very good for the first layer or the last layer if you don't have a lot of wax. They also have these 4 colors. I have here black Prismacolor Premier. I have this kind of burn, yeah, it's a burn ochre or ochre color. And these 2 are Crayola colors. These are also very good for coloring books. There is a video by Cut and Paste, one of the people that I follow a lot. And she, in this video, she's using all different kind of supplies on really cheap paper, that is Amazon paper or paper for kids in coloring books. And she is one of the masters of using any type of tool to lay beautiful effects and different things. So if you can follow her, that would be fantastic. Then, of course, the person who bonds us all is Didi Willingham. So she's going to be streaming on Monday. She's one of my favorite colorists of all time. And she gets to use different tips. She likes to use stencils around the characters, and she has colored a lot of pages from this book. Here I'm just starting, so this is totally new for me. This area of her neck still has got some other different areas of shadows. Hi, Dawn. Welcome. Come on in. We are trying to color dark skin with 3 colors. And we say trying because this is also an experiment. Now, don't feel bad about messing up one coloring page. Nothing happens. It's just part of the learning curve. And many of you have got a lot of coloring books in your stacks. So you can actually do another page from the book, or just forget about the page. Don't worry, move on. Everything is learning. We are not master colorists for the first time we do this. Some people who color are professional artists, and they make everything look so easy, but they don't tell you exactly what's behind, and I'm trying to break that. I'm trying to break the mold and kind of go and show you more or less what we do. Some of the tips. Okay, Dawn, I'm going to also give you a blue wrench because you're already people who I already know. So, adding. And let me tell you something. Sometimes you do see a difference, and I'm using this one as my reference to see how dark or how light I want this. Sometimes there is a difference if you lay first the red and then the green. So you also have to try and experiment with that and see what you like first. Do you want the shadow to go first, then go for the darker color, or maybe just start with the red and see what happens? But as I said before, if you're going to do that, use different paper, experiment, see the possible combinations, and then later you can tackle your book. Most importantly, enjoy what you color, because that's the idea. You don't have to compare to anyone. Okay, we normally blend done with very soft layers, and I'm going to go in a second. I'm going to use my cardstock that I have here, but I'm just pressing, laying the color very softly on the paper, barely kind of touching the paper and layering the color. You have to train your hand to do this, especially if your hand is heavy for coloring. So let me just finish this little bit of the neck and pull this up. It's barely there, but you can see that the first part that I had already shadowed, that is this, is looking kind of a brownish color. When you learn to work with soft layers, there is an advantage. First of all, you don't need a lot of colors or big sets that are sometimes impossible to replace. It's much easier to buy again smaller set. And something that you can do is buy the small sets and replace them. The bigger sets, they're beautiful. They come in different colors, but definitely sometimes they are not easy to replace if you cannot get individual colors. So normally, I have seen a lot of people doing this, go really hard with their colors. You're prone to break your tips, and then you have already put so much wax on the paper that is going to be very difficult. You're going to get a very intense color, but you're going to be able to see the difference. This is me pressing really hard on paper. And you can get to see, and let me use my color to point it out. You can get to see how intense this is, but it has got a lot of wax, and that's the difference. Soft layers, you have a different brown, and this one is really intense brown. But the problem is that if you try to add another color, it has to be a very creamy color. This is the Crayola. It's probably not going to add very well, and there's not going to be really a change. I really didn't do much here. I just added more wax, and I'm already indenting or scoring my paper, so I'm going to damage what is beneath if you don't protect your other pages with kind of a thick cardboard. But if you do this, this is something that you can still save, but you have to use your creamy Prismacolors. So this, I'm again doing a lot of pressure here. So I'm already damaging my paper from behind. And on camera, you're probably going to see that this is the same kind of block. Here, I can barely see a difference between the first one that I shaded and this one. Now, what happens if I take this one that was a soft layer? And I'm going to do it again, so you can get to see that it's not really a magic trick. It's just working with your layers really, really softly. So now I'm going to go with a very light pressure. You will barely see this on camera because I'm hardly pressing the paper, but the green is there. I'm going to take my red. Normally, if you do it in circles, nothing happens, but if you do it like I'm doing it right now with kind of cross hatching, like on the other side, I'm starting to build. Probably need a little bit of more green on this area. I'm going to continue shading, and this is layer number 4. So there you go. It's building little by little. Now, if I want to go, now I can use this color to finish the blend and add a little bit of warmth. I'm still cross-hatching, but you can get to see that I'm not really fighting. I'm not scoring on the paper. Layer number 5. Now it's looking brown. And now I can go and take my Crayola that are a little bit harder. And you're going to get to see how the color builds. I'm just going to use half. These colors are harder, so you probably feel the need to press a little bit harder, but not with the same intensity. But now you can see a difference, adding the black. Okay, so layer number 6. And I can go with my Prismacolor Premier. I can see the wax because of how my light is working here in front of me. But I still can put another layer on top of this. And you will be able to see the different browns that I have. And I still do not have all my paper full of wax like here. This effect, now, this is not that bad if you want to do something out of this. If you put a lot of layers and you already have a lot of wax here, you can take your artistic knife. And I cannot find mine here. I don't think I have it. Let me just scan my improvised pencil case here. No, I put it away. So I'm going to use this monster. Okay, but do something or use something that is slimmer. Okay, what you can do is scratch off, depending on the paper that you have, a little bit of the wax. And with this, you can create fur texture if the paper is thick enough. This paper is not thick enough. I have already scored this too much. So what this is doing is that is tearing my paper. But in some cases, depending on the thickness of the paper, this is something that you can save. But my recommendation is this. And exactly the way we did, and here we're going to put that we did, if I remember, we did 7 layers. This is also the best way to work with polychromes. a lot of people hate polychromos because they have never been told how to use them. Yeah, you can definitely go like this with a polychromo, but they are they have very, very firm and strong lids. They are not as creamy as Prismacolor or any other brands, and you're going to hurt your hand. So, not ideal. Use layers, soft layers. It takes patience to build all the layers with polychromos, but they are fantastic to work if you're patient enough. I have got uh, two books. That is this one, the one of Christine, that has got a very beautiful thick paper. So I think that in future sessions, I can take out the polychromos and the cold fibers that I have, and I can show you how to work with layers. And I also got recently, let me just show you, and I was enabled to get at this one. I was not really going to get at this one, but I saw Coloring in View working with this book, and I was like, oh, this is beautiful. I got it last night. Has got the posters, but they're too big to show you, but some of you already have the book. And something interesting is that this book, this is the original signature of the author, and I believe that because this part of the paper, this part of the cover is stained, and it went through. So I totally believe that it's the author signing this originally. I bought this one last week and it arrived yesterday. This kind of disappointed because I have Amazon Prime and supposedly they're here fast. But this book has got beautiful creamy paper that is going to be ideal. It has a very nice tooth. So I think it's going to be ideal to work with color pencils and Inktense pencils because they're very, very thick. So I think we might be also able to play with this book later on. But the type of paper is really nice. It has double spreads, I think, somewhere. But I don't want to open the book so much, so I don't want to break the spine. But it's got like, I have never gotten a book so thick with really, really good paper. And something that you can do is that you can take out, let me see if I can do this. Let me see if I can do this on camera. Okay, take your Google Lens, scan it, and I don't think I will be able to show you this, but you can scan the Chinese characters and you can get the translation in real time of all the pages. So it's one of the good things about technology, you know, we could do things like this. Okay, guys, so I'm going to stop the streaming because I've got a lot of different things to do. So remember, for the next 2 weeks, probably, we're going to be working with the cat. You have the link in my January the 1st and January 3rd streams, link to Google Drive. So we're going to start working with this one. And we're going to continue working with this beautiful portrait. And if you have the book, that would be fantastic. The paper is really good. I forgot to tell you, the paper is creamy. So what I normally do is that I use white charcoal on the highlights. So I can make these areas white. So that's why I'm also not touching yet this area. So I go through all the brightest highlights and I use charcoal and I do the same with a Q-tip. I just push it into the texture of the paper. And that is going to make sure whatever I put here on top stays white and not creamy. Because remember that the creamy paper is another color. So if you really want a pure white, then do the charcoal thing first. If you want to play and see what the creamy color of the paper does to your layers and color pencils, you can leave it like that. I suppose she's a fairy. Hi, Marty. But it is from the collection of this book. So it's from this one. So all of them are kind of strange creatures. Have an angel. I'm not going to color this one now, but this one is also grabbing my attention. But right now I just want to concentrate into images. Otherwise, I'm going to have just too many projects, and I already have 3 going on. This one, the portrait, and my experiment of pastel pencils, that is this one, the experiment. I don't color this live because it would be a little bit of embarrassing to mess up, and I do want people to learn from my mistakes, but not necessarily on camera. This is already a challenge. So let me go and see if my dad has woken up, because I have to give him some breakfast. I have to fix breakfast. So if you're coming in, thank you for coming. Thank you for watching this. If you're watching on replay, don't forget to recommend the channel, to subscribe. I'm trying to get to 800 subscribers. I'm almost in 750 subscribers. Okay, so thank you for coming. I'll see you next Saturday at 8 a.m. Eastern Time. Meanwhile, check out the shorts that I'm going to be uploading with the portrait. And this one, it's going to be live next Saturday. So you have a chance to print this one. So thank you guys. See you. Have a great Saturday and weekend. Take care. Bye.